Discussion on Pardee sign in ECG of acute myocardial infarction includes corresponding coronary angiogram showing coronary occlusion. ST elevation of acute myocardial infarction was described by Harold E.B. Pardee in 1920 and has been called Pardee sign. The article has been cited in an article by Deb Bleek. Please subscribe to this channel for future updates. Click on the subscribe button. Press the bell icon after that for all updates. The latter article mentions that upsloping convex ST elevation seen during acute phase of myocardial infarction is considered the typical morphology of ST elevation myocardial infarction, Pardee sign, and has a high positive predictive value. They also mention that concave morphology of ST elevation is less specific for ST elevation myocardial infarction as it can be found in many other non-ischemic conditions. Hyperacute inferior wall infarction is evidenced by the prominent upsloping ST elevation in inferior leads with upright T waves. ST elevation is significantly more in lead 3 than in lead 2, suggesting that it is due to an occlusion of the right coronary artery rather than the left circumflex coronary artery. ST depression is seen in the anterior leads and lateral leads, which could be either a reciprocal change or ischemia at a distance. Final proof will come from the coronary angio prior to primary angioplasty, which will be the therapeutic option of choice in this case. PP interval is half that of RR interval in this case. The P wave marked by red arrow is non-conducted, while the P wave marked by blue arrow is followed by a QRS complex. So it is a 2:1 AV block. This ECG shows ST segment elevation in leads 2, 3 and AVF of about 3 mm. ST segment depression is seen in leads 1 AVL and V1 to V5. Overall features are suggestive of hyperacute phase of inferior wall myocardial infarction with reciprocal ST segment depression in anterior leads. The hyperacute phase is diagnosed when the ST segment is elevated and T waves are upright in those leads. The segment is upsloping in a hyperacute phase as the T waves are upright and sometimes a bit tall. ST segment becomes coved as the T waves get inverted in the later phase. The reciprocal ST depression in anterior leads could be just an electrical phenomenon due to the ST segment elevation in inferior leads or due to ischemia and the corresponding territory. Right coronary angiogram shows a critical lesion marked by black arrow with some negative shadows distal to the lesion suggesting thrombus. Catheter is seen coming from above with no catheter part in the descending aorta near the spine, suggesting that this is possibly a transradial coronary angiogram. We may be tempted to believe that this is the culprit lesion which has caused the inferior wall myocardial infarction. Generally, ST elevation is more in lead 3 in right coronary occlusion, while it is more in lead 2 in left circumflex occlusion. But in this case, we have almost equal ST elevation in leads 2 and 3. Let us view the left coronary angiogram below and decide. Left coronary angiogram shows total occlusion of distal left circumflex coronary artery with absent dye filling in a short segment marked by black arrow. Multiple significant lesions are seen in left anterior descending coronary artery marked by blue arrows. Significant lesions are also seen in the obtuse marginal branch of the left circumflex coronary artery marked by red arrows. It appeared to be a single vessel disease from the ECG showing hyperacute phase of inferior wall myocardial infarction with reciprocal anterior ST segment depression. This pattern is usually due to isolated right coronary occlusion, but here it has turned out to be severe triple vessel disease requiring coronary artery bypass grafting. The culprit lesion which has caused the infarction in this case is possibly the left circumflex occlusion. When such a set of lesions are seen in the acute phase, while taking up the case for primary angioplasty, it is customary to tackle the suspected culprit lesion immediately and consider staged procedure for the remaining lesions. Some operators may consider tackling all lesions if the clinical status permits. But in this case, complete revascularization is better done by coronary artery bypass grafting. Here it was an elective angiogram at a later date and not a pre-primary angioplasty angiogram. So the decision was straightforward in favor of coronary artery bypass grafting. Here are two journal references on Paddy sign. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates and click on the bell icon for all updates. Thank you.